The Lucas County Board of Developmental Disabilities presents Larc Lane Conversations with your hosts, Jane Meyer and Chris Hart.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Dave.
Morning.
Good to have you.
Good to be back for our third episode.
Our third episode. They say third time is a charm, right? So this would be the best. Yeah, you do.
Should be. And it's May. So it's my birthday month. So it's going to have to be.
Wait a second.
So.
We both have May birthdays.
Hers birthday today, too.
All right.
Mine isn't it?
So
all right.
Getting ready to go.
I would sing happy birthday, but I prefer to keep my friends close. So I'll send you a
I was told there'd be no singing.
Isn't a contract you've been promised?
Yep,
That's good for all of us.
So here for May, which is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And I know I always go into the history of stuff, but this has actually been Mental Health Awareness Month since 1949, which I thought was kind of interesting that it went back that far, because with all the stigma that going back that far, I think people would still be recognizing mental health awareness in 1949. I know one of the other things I found out is, it's symbolized by the green ribbon. Everybody has their ribbon, and they chose green because it symbolizes regrowth and renewal. So that's the little bit of history about mental health awareness. I know we take mental health awareness very seriously at the board. We have a lot of our individuals are dual diagnosed and have mental health on top of their developmental disabilities, which can make us have to work with the other systems besides just our own. I know for ourselves, we've been training our staff in mental health first aid, and so far we've got 40 staff trained in it, and it's like a 3-year certification, and we're going to do 20 more in September. And then we're also doing what we call question, persuade, refer, and that is for assisting people who may be feeling suicidal or have other kinds of immediate needs, and don't have a professional available. It just teaches you how to ask the right questions, how to persuade them to take the right actions, and then referring them to the right people. So we're trying to get as many of our staff to be familiar with the mental health awareness and what to do in case they face that.
It's very important. And I did take that first aid mental health training. It was very good. The trainers were awesome. They were from the mental health.
Yes,
board.
The mental health
board.
recovery board. And yes, I took it as well, and I have enjoyed it and have gotten a lot of really good reviews of it. And I think we still have a few spots open for the September 16th training. So.
I like the way that they did a real integrated approach, and we did a lot of activities together. And they always have that one common thread of self-care.
Yep. You got to take care of yourself. If you don't help yourself, you can't help other people.
Can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
Very important component.
And that looks different for everybody.
Absolutely. Welcome back to Larc Lane Conversations. I'm Chris Hart.
And I'm Jane Meyer. Welcome back. So glad you guys are here.
So last weekend was Mother's Day. Did you do anything fun for Mother's Day?
Oh, just spent time with family and friends. But you know what I find interesting about Mother's Day is the difference between when they're younger and when they're older. So as they're older, I've started planting seeds a little bit earlier. Hey, what's in 3 weeks? That's awesome. Hey, what's in 2 weeks? That's awesome that your favorite parent is going to be having. Because when they're younger, they have all that support. They have their teachers but it was fun. He pulled through with some flowers and a card, and I love cards. I'm a card person. How about yours? How was your Mother's Day?
My Mother's Day was fairly uneventful, but it's the usual Mother's Day, planting flowers. I did have a little bit of a funny, so I asked my daughter for a cup of hot chocolate. So when she went to make the hot chocolate, I started to smell something, and then I looked in the microwave and I said, "Hey, bud," I said, "you made me some hot chocolate." And I pulled it out and it was smoking, but there was no liquid in it. So she had forgotten the liquid. So it's kind of a funny Mother's Day story.
So cute, though. So thoughtful that they remembered your favorites.
Yeah,
there's nothing
got some gift.
Yes.
So it was nice.
And I do try to stretch it out like my birthday.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Yes. And my birthday's next week. So I give her a wink. Like, don't forget, my birthday's next weekend, Memorial Day weekend. So
I love it. There's nothing like being a mom.
Nothing like being cherished.
Well, welcome, Jason. We have Jason McAllister here from the Adult SAS Unit at the Lucas County Board of Developmental Disability. He's our special guest today. Thank you for joining us, Jason.
Thanks for having me.
One of the reasons we were going to have you today because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and you have a unique role at the county board where you do some collaboration with some community mental health systems that's so valuable. So would you like to talk about that at all?
Sure. So in other parts of my career, I've worked in a number of different mental health fields. So with that experience and at the board, it kind of felt natural for me to take on some roles that kind of related to that. So we do a number of collaborations. We have collaborative partners with all of our CMHCs, community mental health centers. So Harbor, Unison, Zeph, Renewed Mind. I am the liaison with Unison and Ohio Guidestone, Renew Mind, Ohio Guidestone. Change your name. We also have a collaboration with Northwest Ohio Psychiatric Hospital. So we meet with them once a month just to kind of review anything going on, any cases, any questions. Sometimes it's a quick meeting. Sometimes we take a little more time. I also I do CIT training with Dr. Dura, and then I work with I have some relationships with some of the officers and with the sheriff's department to kind of collaborate when we have those tough cases that are going on with them.
Is there any immediate success stories that you could talk about that the collaboration was such a great thing for the family and the individual and how it worked to better the community?
I mean, there's been a number, and some of those just come up in the little things. What honestly, I feel like the place that we've gone to with all these collaborations, they've been going before I even was involved in a number of them. I think the most positive thing we have going on right now is that they don't get that big. So as soon as something pops up, somebody from Unison, somebody from the psychiatric hospital, somebody from Toledo Police is reaching out to us, and then we're able to jump right in as soon as we start to see a problem or have something come up. And in recent memory, we haven't had anything get too big. I was just working this morning talking with one of lieutenants from Toledo Police about a case that they have a number of calls that they've gotten, and she asked, what do you want officers to do? How can we help? And so working with the team and the family and the individual of what can the police do when they're there with you in those situations to help.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Jason, are there any misconceptions out there that people might have about mental health?
I think a lot of times so when you think about those scenarios or those settings, you think about the worst. So you think about and even the police or professionals, you deal with somebody, you're like, oh, that person has this diagnosis. And then you're like, oh, I saw somebody with that diagnosis and this was going. Well, you're thinking about them on that person on their worst day, or that diagnosis on its worst day. But somebody who has, just like an individual with developmental disabilities, that doesn't affect every area of their life. And just like somebody with mental health, it's not every day that you're sad, not every day that you're having all those symptoms. And I think people assume that, oh, if that person was like that last Thursday at 2:00, they're always like that. And that's not true. It goes in cycles. People just have bad days just because they're people. We all have bad days. I had a bad day. I was running late this morning. That happens, right? So with mental health, people think, oh, that one thing is what it's always like. And it's not. It's just in that moment, they need extra support or something going on, but they're going to get back to a different place after that.
And I understand the Toledo Police has a special unit that helps work with our individuals with DD and with mental health. Could you talk a little bit about that?
So they have the CIT program, which Northwest Ohio, our CIT program is a pretty well-run and good program. We've been doing it for a long time. At least Toledo has never made it mandatory. And that's something that they've kind of always had. And the mental health board that runs it and Toledo Police don't want to make it mandatory. They don't want to force officers who don't want to be there. Which I think then when you do the training and they're actually asking good questions and the officers are really involved. And they run that program, the training every 3 months. It's a 40-hour program. So the officers are in class for a week straight. And then outside of that, they do some site visits. They go to a lot of industries and a couple other mental health sites and sites that serve individuals with disabilities.
Nice.
And then those officers are then dispersed throughout the community. And when a call comes in and they need a CIT, crisis trained officer, they'll try and dispatch those officers to that call.
To that situation.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you think some of the the power of collaboration, if you would talk about that a little bit?
I think the biggest thing is that we can find things because we're all doing the same thing, but if we're not working together, then we're not able to maximize the resources that we have. I think a lot of times teams will sit around and they're like, oh, we really need help getting here. We need to get to this place. Well, if mental health and us, and sometimes the other systems or people that are working with that individual, we can all figure out a way to get there. But if mental health is running in this direction and we're running in this one, we don't always put all that together. So when we come together for those collaborations, I always tell SSAs or people who are coming, the things that you're going to get out of this aren't going to be groundbreaking. They're going to be the biggest thing. They're like, oh my gosh, I never knew that thing existed. But what it is going to do is you and the other people working with that individual are going to get some understanding of the different systems and then be able to figure out, okay, well, if you're doing that, then instead of us putting our resources towards that also, we'll let you guys do that. And then we can do this other thing and help move the person forward. Yeah, I think just that awareness of the different things. And then we're also able to sometimes, at least for the professionals working on those situations, it can be a little more difficult and challenging, getting frustrated and thinking, the school isn't, or the mental health agency isn't doing this, or the doctor's office isn't doing this.
Mm-hmm.
The police aren't doing that. Well, then when we collaborate and we find out the doctor's office isn't doing that because they can't, or because they're doing something else, then we can say, oh, okay, I understand why that wasn't happening, and get that understanding. And then it kind of alleviates some of our professional frustration, and then we're able to partner better.
Yeah, and to move forward, and the power of relationship and all that, working together for the same. You get to know people, just like people reaching out to you when they have questions.
Mm-hmm.
Has such a better preventative, proactive approach as opposed to, like you said earlier, getting to a crisis where it's, in a much more difficult situation. So that's awesome. Yeah. I'm glad that you do that. We appreciate all that you do.
Yeah.
What did you do for your wife on Mother's Day?
On Mother's Day, we had a cookout at my house.
Oh, it sounds very nice.
Made her dinner. Yeah.
How many children do you have?
2. They're 10 and 11.
And I hear they're big University of Michigan fans.
They're not. No.
Oh, did I get the team wrong?
One's a Notre Dame fan. One is a Notre Dame and Ohio State fan.
There you go.
Yeah, we knew that you're a big Notre Dame fan.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're a Laker? I mean, you go to the lake?
Yep. I love being on water.
Mm-hmm. So, here's another fun question. If you could have any skill today, what would it be?
Any skill?
Any skill. That's a good question.
Like, not like flying. Any skill?
Emphasis on any.
Well, I mean, it would probably be able to fly a plane.
Oh.
Does that count? That would.
Yeah, I think that's a big skill.
Yeah.
Like a fighter jet, like Top Gun, or
commercial.
That's a pilot.
Yeah, private pilot. But there's different classifications, so enough to fly a few people, but it doesn't have to be for.
Are you looking into that?
I haven't looked into it. It takes a long time.
Yeah. Don't look on eBay.
Yeah, I won't look on eBay.
Or Groupon for flying classes.
Although it might be available.
I once saw I've always wanted to go skydiving, and sometimes they'll be on Groupon.
Yes.
Skydiving, but I'm like, that's the one thing I will pay full price for. I want like the I don't want the discounted rate on my parachute. I want the full rate.
So you're a man of adventure. You're sure. Yeah,
I love it. And working is an adventure. How long have you been at the county board?
I believe 18 years.
That's a long
Or
time.
no, 18 years in PERS. So I was at the State Psychiatric Hospital for 4 of those. So 14 years at the county board.
And what do you love working about at the county board?
What do I love about working at the county board? So I used to work for a provider agency, and then I wanted to come to the county board, for a long time. I think in our system, there are some constraints. We're the providers and the things that we're doing are impacting, and I don't want to say we don't want to be controlling people's lives, but there's a lot of things that we do that kind of, I feel like, control people's lives. So I like it when we're able to find things that use the system but allow the person to live their best life.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I just feel like if it were me and I had to have somebody coming over to help me get out of bed, take a shower, get to work, I would feel a lot of kind of ways. And so when we're able to use that system, but actually do what the individual is looking for, I like finding those creative solutions. Like, how can we can get you, I love self-directed transportation, just those kind of things. Like, what can we do to kind of fit our system to actually make your life the way you want it to be?
I hear that passion that you have for individuals even as you're talking, or, thinking outside the box and doing something that's very individual focused and gets to choose what they want. I think that's great. Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining
for having me.
us. We appreciate you being on.
Yeah.
We're here with Chris. And so, Chris, tell us, how was Mother's Day? Did you do anything special for your mom on Mother's Day?
Not really. Here's the thing. I kind of took my knee at work, and I was in emergency room a little bit, but it's not broken. And
Oh, that's good.
yeah, but the next day, it was Mother's Day. I did get her something. I got one of those Ohio State you put your phone in. It's like what kind of pouches?
Like a phone pouch?
Yeah, phone pouch. Yeah, I got one of those, and yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand, Chris, you work.
Mm-hmm.
So where are you working and what do you do there?
I work at Kroger's, the one in Waterville, and shout out for Kroger's too in Waterville too, because I know a lot of people over there too. I've been working over there for 7 years over there at Kroger. And
what's your favorite thing about working at Kroger?
the people.
The people.
Yeah. I bet you have good customer service.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, yes.
So,
Yeah.
what's your job there, did you say, Chris?
I'm a bagger.
Okay. Yeah. So you see a lot of people coming through your line and
Yeah, a lot of people know me a lot of people know me when I first started at Kroger. A lot of people know me when I do Special Olympics, when I do something else, or yeah. That's pretty much it.
yeah. I hear you like to volunteer in the community too.
I like to volunteer sometimes. I help my mom. Sometimes my mom and one of her friends from Connecting People in Service. And they're a lot of fun.
What's fun about them?
What's that?
What's fun about them?
The humor.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's very hard to explain.
You have a pretty good sense of humor. I know we were joking around kind of before we started.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes humor gets us through the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Especially on those difficult days.
Yeah.
So a little birdie told me to ask you about the National Exchange Club.
Yep.
So I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about what that is and what your involvement is with that.
I just joined the club, and it wasn't too long ago. I know that, but my mom's involved, and some of her friends know me and know me from the club. But we did a thing. I think it was Saturday. We had to put like flags on the like in the cemetery for
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, and that's a lot of fun. We some of us took pictures. And I took some pictures on my phone too. I'm always on Facebook, and yeah.
I love how you and your mom volunteer a lot of places together. Have you always done that?
Not really, no.
Is it something new?
Something new, yes.
How did that start?
You have to talk to her about that too.
It was her idea.
Yeah, this is her idea.
Well, you're good to partner together. It's nice to. What are some things that you like about volunteering?
Having out with the community a little bit. Yeah.
Make it a difference. You guys have been doing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I also heard that you like to do is it the films?
Well, photography, yeah.
And photography?
Yes.
Tell what are some pictures that you're proud of?
I took some pictures of this. I took some pictures of the sky. I use my I gotta use my phone because I took some really good pictures. I did my first art show in Fenbrook Mall, and I told somebody about that too before I got here. And of course it's on my Facebook page too. If you guys want, I check that out sometime.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to. Yes. What was the art show like? What you posted some pictures you had of the sky?
Pictures of the sky, yeah. Sunsets, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love the nature scenes too.
Yeah. And there's like some other people with their disabilities they do something else too with it's very hard to explain. Maybe cartoonish kind of wise.
Oh, like drawing comics or cartoon characters.
Yeah, characters. Yeah,
a lot of creativity. You know, a lot of creative people. It sounds like.
Yeah, and I used to know a couple of people. One from Special Olympics, and the other one from Georgia too. I used to know, and yeah.
You're almost famous, I guess. People I know here, people I know there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Did you say you're involved with Special Olympics?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What do you do in Special Olympics?
I do tennis and golfing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've been doing Special Olympics over 25, 20, I think it's maybe 25, 26 years already.
Long time. What's your favorite? Yeah. Golf or tennis?
I can't pick.
You like them both?
Both.
Okay.
If I have a kid, be golfing.
Golfing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If somebody's just getting started in Special Olympics, what would you tell them?
Repeat that again.
If somebody's just getting started in Special Olympics, what would you tell them?
Oh my God. That's very hard to say.
Would you tell them you love it? It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Keep trying.
Keep trying and reaching. You guys have to be a big old pro. You guys have to be a big old pro.
Right.
When it's like you'd be like Pete Sampras or Andre Agassi or somebody else too. It's like for me. It's like for me. Just have fun and be yourself, and yeah.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
I think that's very good advice. Don't put pressure and just have fun.
Yeah.
Did you meet some great people there too?
In tennis?
Or Special Olympics?
I went to nationals when I was doing golfing, and I almost met what's his name, Tim Shriver, I think it was. And I met him once, and I hope he watches this. And hope he watches this. I hope he watches this podcast too.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, shout out for Tim Shriver too, because I used to know his family because my mom told me she had a picture of me when I was younger. She had a picture of me and Eunice Candy Shriver when she was still alive, and she used to hold me as a baby, and that's why I got involved with Special Olympics.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Kind of your claim to fame a little bit there.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I heard you like music.
I do like music.
Do you have a favorite band or singer or?
I like Savage Garden. I like Savage Garden.
Yeah.
I like boy bands a little bit.
Yeah.
I like Nickelback, Three Doors Down, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
That's a good variety.
Yeah, and I do like all kinds of music too, between rock. I like rock, R&B. I'd be like Boyz II Men, boy bands.
Yeah.
And I got lots of CDs at home already.
Yes.
I got 2 towers of CDs, like on one side of my bed, and the other side, right next to my TV.
That's good.
Yeah.
All kinds of music. Listen to that. It's very good. How do you like working with dear Sass Colleen? She's here today, and the team that support you.
Yes.
Good group of people.
Yeah, I know Colleen for a while too. She's a very cool person. She's level-headed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What are some ways that they support you?
Okay, you ready for a silly question?
Yeah, sure.
I always like to throw a silly question in there.
Oh, God.
I know.
That's what everybody says, Chris. Everybody has the same response.
Right.
If you had any one superpower today, what would it be?
Strength.
Oh, very nice. Strength, like muscle strength?
Muscle strength. Be like Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. That's why I do like that's why I do like all superheroes between those two. Spider-Man, Thor is one of them. Yeah.
All strong guys.
That's
Any
a good one.
questions?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you want to share or comes to mind?
Well, I'm still single. I know that.
All right. Well,
And that's for all the people who are still single too, including younger people and that kind of stuff.
yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, it's been such a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you for joining
Thank you for coming on and joining us.
Sure.
We really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Well, that was a pretty great third podcast.
Sure was.
It was interesting to learn some things about Jason that you didn't
Thanks
know.
to Jason
Fun
McAllister from the adult SSA unit. And
It's great having Chris on.
yes, Chris was quite the guy. For all you
Single.
ladies, Breck Jam, he'll be there.
Right. I can't believe it's our third podcast already.
Yeah, or that it's May already, halfway through.
Yeah. A big happy Mother's Day to every mother out there.
Yep, all the mothers.
Couldn't do it without you.
No, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for mom.
You guys are stealing on my lines. I can't get a word in edgewise.
That's the banters. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or know of an individual program or other success story that you would like us to feature on Larc Lane Conversations, please contact us at lconversations@lucasdd.org.